are here at one of South Florida's premier supercar and hypercar events down at Dania Pointe. We are at Exotics at Dania Pointe today, and it is one of the coolest events that you can attend down here in South Florida. I mean, the event hasn't even started, and look at the number of Pagannis behind me. We have Ferraris, we have Lamborghinis, we have multiple Bugatti Chiron here, and the day is just kicking off. This is one of the coolest events that you could possibly attend in South Florida. Come check out some of the cars with me. This isn't your average kit car. This is a Grion GT8, and it might be one of the more rare kit cars that we have here today. This GT8 may look like a supercar in every sense of the world, and this specific one looks like a Le Mans car, but it's actually based off of a C5 Corvette from the 1970s. Come check out some of the details on it.
This is built here in Miami, Florida. I'm the founder and president of the company.
That explains why it's such a good example. Like the paint's immaculate, the fiberglass work on it is beautiful.
Exactly. This is actually from a customer from Atlanta. I bring it to the show before shipped to Atlanta.
What is it like to drive? Obviously, this isn't just like any C5 that you would drive. It's a completely different car at that point. So what is the driving experience like?
It's very interesting, very fun, because it's a tubular frame like NASCARs, you know, the race cars. The engine is in the back, so it's very fun to drive, I think.
How much power does it make?
We have a different version from 350 to 800 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah, depending on what the customer wants.
What is your preference? Like, what do you think is the sweet spot for driving and handling this car?
600, you know, it's very responsive, you know, but here it's difficult to do in the street, but when you go to the track, it's another story.
How much does it weigh?
2,700 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you mind if we take a look inside?
No.
My favorite car. This is a custom wide body. It is a Rocket Bunny kit with a custom paint job. Look at this beautiful custom interior. Just complements the paint color so well. And you can also see this car pretty often at Supercar Saturday, which makes it extra special because he actually drives it and brings it out to a ton of events. Behind me is an Alfa Romeo 4C. My favorite thing about this car is it is the sister car to the Lotus Elise if the Lotus Elise had a fully carbon body. Now, the downside of this car is though it does handle really well. It is turbocharged. It's only available in an automatic transmission. But don't let that fool you. The driving experience of these cars is absolutely insane. It's the closest you can get to driving a Lotus Elise, but actually enjoying a little bit of comfort. Come check it out. So, I'm sure you know this isn't a super common car. What is it?
It's an Alfa Romeo, and its name is Angela. It was made in 1959. My grandpa Ricardo Sador bought it in 2008. He's right behind you. He's the one who bought the car.
So how long have you been driving it?
How long have we we had it probably, according to my math, it's 14 or 15. 14, 15, or 13 years we had it. And it was restored with all original parts after Ricardo Sador bought it. And there's a little secret in the back. The rubber leg. So this rubber leg in the back was to distract the other racers. So it was like dangling in the air. So when they saw it, they're like,
Did it stress people out?
yeah,
Who came up with the idea to have the leg out of the back?
my grandpa.
Oh, it's smart. Your grandpa's a smart man. How long have you driven it? Do you drive the car?
Let's see. So 2008, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. 14 years. 14 years since it was made.
Awesome.
Since my grandpa bought it.
Do you get to drive it at all?
No, but I get to see him drive it.
Did you tell him that you're the co-owner of the car?
I'm the co-owner of the car.
That's super cool. Thank you for sharing your car with us today. Angelina, and what was your name?
You could call me John, Johnny.
John,
Middle name
Angelina.
Luke, last name Romano.
I am here with the one and only Elo, sitting in what might be the coolest car I've ever sat in. Elo, what is this?
This is a 1966 Porsche Oil Stain Lab half 11 prototype out of California.
How long have you had this car for? I mean, you have an insane collection just out here today, not including what you have at Supercar Rooms.
Well, this is not mine. This actually I got down here specifically for this show. This belongs to Nick, and he's one of the best car builders ever. And the reason it's called half 11 is because he went home every day at half 11, and his girlfriend is like, do you know what time it is? It's half 11. So he says, I'm gonna call the project half 11.
I love it. Do you know how long it took him to build this car?
4 years.
And what is it powered by? I see the engine sitting right behind me. I bet this is loud.
It is an LS, but it's a Porsche chassis, so it's a Porsche, but it's got an LS, and it's got an inverted with a upside down transmission, so it's stick, and he drives it like he stole it. I mean, this car was at Pebble Beach, and it won People's Choice.
Have you gotten a chance to drive it or ride in it yet?
Look at my hair. That's it, Bruce. When you drive a car like this, you get electrocuted straight away.
Awesome. Thank you for letting me sit in it and sharing it with us.
No worries. Maybe we'll give you the keys. Get to drive it later.
We're headed to the track next.
Take it on the track. Why not?
Hey guys, how you guys doing? My name's Tiago. This is my Testarossa. We did this in collaboration with Supercar Rooms. It has a story behind it. The story is that recently there was a long-lost interview with Ferrari Enzo. So before he passed away in late 80s, there's very few interviews with actual Enzo talking in a camera. So in the interview was during the development of the 288 GTO and the Testarossa. And he says that if he had money was no object, he would build, instead of calling it the Testarossa, he would call it the Testa de Oro. So Testarossa means redhead, and that's why the engine heads are red. He would actually do them out of gold because gold doesn't conduct heat. So he would actually call it the Testa de Oro, which means head of gold. So instead of redhead, it would be gold head. So with that, we built this car as a tribute to what what Enzo may have built if money was no object. He would have built the engine heads out of gold, and he would have. So we wrapped the car in gold. Now the gold that this is not a normal gold. This is a new gold wrap that just came out. Typical gold wraps are actually yellow. They're more like 14 karat gold. They're not deep and really look like a gold bar. So this wrap came out. It literally looks like a gold bar. It has the depth. It has the black in it. And it's much harder to work with. It's like a thicker wrap. You can't use heat. So, actually the wrap guy, I don't even know if he wants to do it again because it's a pain in the ass to do. So, so we did the wrap. There's more to it. So actually, originally we took out the vents because we had to take them off to wrap the car anyway. What's interesting about the history with the Ferrari, and we debated on whether or not we were going to put the cheese graters back on, because this was not part of the original design in the Testarossa in 1984. In 1984, when they designed the Testarossa, they wanted to make these huge vents for the intercoolers that are right back here. And when they did that, they finished developing the car. They did all the tests and all the crash tests. And then the National Highway and Safety Administration said these vents are too big and kids can get sucked in, and little animals and kids can get stuck inside. So the National Highway and Safety Administration made them put these vents on. Originally, it's just one big, huge opening. In the 80s, they said that's not cool. You can't do that. Nowadays, obviously, you have all these supercars with huge vents on the side. It's normal. But this was actually the first car ever that was designed with huge supercar cooling vents. Even though you can't tell because they made them put these cheese graters on. So the actual design that this car came out with, when Enzo came up with this car, he was very ahead. He saw the future, he put these huge vents on. So we ended up putting the vents back on, but we might end up taking them back off and making the car look the way it was intended. But that's it. So it's a gold wrap Testarossa. Most people won't even wrap a Testarossa. People think wrapping a Testarossa is insane. It's like sacrilege. It's like the most unmodified Ferrari out there. Like nobody modifies a Testarossa. So, Elo called me up, say, hey, let's wrap the Testarossa in gold. And I was like, you know what? Told me the story, and I'm like, let's do it. So yeah, there it is. We kept everything original. The wheels are original, painted black. We kept the original black trim. All we did really was just change the color. Usually these are color matched, so they would be gold and gold, but we left it black and we also blacked out the mirrors. So, but other than coloring, the car's original. It's OEM. OEM height, pretty much the way it came out of the factory. So it's not a modified Testarossa. So if you guys want to see the inside, you can. So the Testarossa, a lot of people don't know, but this was the most expensive car when it was made in 1985. It was also the fastest car when it was made in 1984. So the Testarossa was the Bugatti Veyron of today. In 1984, this was the fastest and most expensive car in the world. And on top of that, they sold for 50% over MSRP, and there was a waiting list to get them. And that's why they ended up producing so many, because it just kicked the Countach's ass.
Every time I turn around, I swear there's a new Bugatti behind me, because we are here with Bugatti Broward. They have a Chiron over here. A Veyron just pulled up over there. They have one over there that we haven't uncovered yet. Absolutely spectacular spec. I actually haven't seen this one in person, so let's go check it out. This is the McLaren Senna, named after the iconic, one of the best Formula One drivers McLaren ever had, and potentially in the sport, Ayrton Senna. The McLaren Senna is incredibly rare and a special car. With its twin turbocharged 4-liter V8, the McLaren Senna reaches a top speed of nearly 208 miles per hour from almost 800 brake wheel horsepower. It is as close as you can get to a street legal race car, and it looks something akin to an alien spaceship with the insanely aggressive aerodynamics of the car, the cutout vents, and this completely OE wing. Artistically crafted, and everything about these vehicles is detail oriented. You'll notice that almost no two Pagani's look the same because they are spec'd out by each buyer. They're designed by Horacio Pagani, and there's so much of this car to talk about. I could do it until I'm blue in the face. This is a Huayra Roadster BC, and it is absolutely beautiful. Take a look at these side view mirrors. They may look a little odd from the placement and also the shape, but they're designed to look like a woman's eye. The interior of the Pagani Huayra Roadster BC is designed, much like most other Paganis, to look like the cockpit of an airplane. They're incredibly dynamic and driver focused, but they also at the same time look like the inside of a fine Italian wristwatch. The dials, gauge clusters, the aerodynamics, everything about these cars is incredibly intricately designed, and you would never look at a Pagani and say, this reminds me of just about any other vehicle, because chances are it doesn't.